Grant. Welcome back to Wheel to Wheel. No race this past weekend. We were just talking about how it was kind of a bummer. It's obviously more of a bummer now because I get excited to then come on and give mid-ass takes about every single F1 race. But we got this upcoming race and it's become a whole thing because of one team, obviously. But before we get into that, how you feeling about it? How you feeling about Suzuka? How you feeling about Ferrari going into this week with
No
another
idea. On
potential rain day for race day? 75% chance of rain as of now in Suzuka on Sunday.
well, I mean, we pulled a quick one last race, and immediately before anything even started, adjusted our ride height. Um, or maybe that was Australia. It doesn't matter either or. We pulled the trigger fast on stuff like that. I love the track. It's one of my favorites on the calendar. Great setup. Lots of high speed turns, low speed turns, sweepers. A couple good straights. Iconic turns. But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling good whole field wise for my team. Uh, who knows? I mean, Blind Squirrel found a nut with winning the sprint and then choking in the race. Just hope things get executed well. But
Yeah.
how about you? I've seen some chassis stuff about Williams and Carlos.
No,
What's
Val's
what's going
Val's
on
disproved
on your end of
all
the
of
world?
that. It was all been disproven by James Val's. But basically, there was a radio talk show host in Spain who touched on the fact that Carlos Sainz was using a reconstructed FW46 chassis and was not the same chassis as Alex Albon, which was incorrect. Both of them are repurposed FW46s into be the FW47, and their cars are identical spec by spec. So as of right now, it is just growing pains of Carlos getting used to the new car, which makes sense. It's a totally different machine than the Ferrari, different power unit, different engine, different everything. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just feeling good. I think with more time, Carlos will do great. I love Albon in that car right now. Every single week, I'm just more and more optimistic that he can do something crazy. And if it rains, hell, why not a cheeky podium?
Yeah,
Especially whenever
it's
the race. Sorry, good.
no, I'm just saying it always the rain always plays to his advantage, it seems. It's like him
Yeah,
and sometimes Pierre Gasly or Ocon, but
Russell too.
they
Yeah.
both drive tractors now.
Yeah, dude, that does suck. But I'm feeling good about Williams this week. I think the main talk of the town is obviously the most well managed team on the grid, arguably. Red Bull Racing. No, I'm kidding. So
Oh my
Yuki
gosh,
Tsunoda
yeah.
is obviously starting in the Red Bull car. Everybody knows this now. ESPN F1 posted this about a week ago. Liam Lawson is out after 2 races. After the whole debacle of Yuki should be in the Red Bull in the beginning. No, just kidding. We're starting Liam Lawson. Then to pull him after 2 races is one of the most insane things I've ever seen after fighting for him to be in that car the entire
Yep.
offseason to then just can him after 2 races. It's like, okay, so like
I mean, I think
what's
it
the
goes
point?
to show that Helmut Marco's in his basket. He's nearing the end, I would say, of his stint. He's old. Things are changing, new regulations. Honestly, I know Horner runs the team more than Marco, but Marco is always the one saying the crazy stuff, and then Horner
Mhm.
has to back him. So I wonder what the dynamic will look like if Marco goes, Horner stays, just how that hand will play. Um, I'm excited for Yuki. There was something that came out yesterday, I think, where he said, I don't find this car that difficult to drive.
I think he said it's
So,
surprisingly less difficult than I thought.
right, which
Something,
is fine. Good
yeah.
for him.
He
Go
played
ball out in
it
your
pretty
home Grand
neutral.
Prix.
He played it pretty neutral. He wasn't like this thing's so easy. It was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought to kind of give him
Yeah.
like that ease of whatever.
Either way, he can pull a car around a track. Not worried about him. Um, and honestly, I think Liam's going to have a good weekend going back into something he's comfortable with or was comfortable with. Um,
And a
hopefully, he's
track
not
he's very
flipping
familiar
anybody
with.
off as he passes them or
Ugh,
anything this go
yeah.
around. But if he keeps his head down in races, I'll be happy to see it. Got nothing against him. Got shafted, and I hope Yuki makes the most of it.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Yuki has an incredible race. I mean, home race in Japan. I mean, it would be awesome. He obviously is like has mentioned podiums and whatnot, but he's been in the sim. That's the quote you're talking about was he's been in the sim for like an extensive period of time now for the
Oh
this is the
yeah.
this is the RB21 or whatever it is. So
Yep.
he's been driving the car in the sim a lot. Also, the engineers and technical guys on Red Bull have said that they're making the car less Verstappen or oriented by quote, meaning that this car was
Yeah.
just both cars in the garage were catered towards Max's driving style, hoping somebody could figure it out and just get to his level. But yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting. And then the big question is just gonna be is Lawson or Yuki gonna out qualify each other? Like if Lawson flips and out
Yeah.
qualifies Yuki, it's just gonna be an absolute spotlight on Red Bull. Just being like, by the way, this car
Hmm.
is unbearable to drive.
Yeah. The
And you
garbage.
gotta figure
Yep.
something out.
I
So
think for whole race picture, I'm seeing honestly I'm seeing a Max win. Don't know where Yuki will be, but I think somehow Max is going to pull something out. Even if he doesn't qualify well, he's going to do what he did last race when the car gets light, just go hawk people down. Um,
just hawk to it,
I
bro.
think, oh yeah, it's going to go crazy. Um, I think I don't even know what to expect out of the Ferraris. McLarens are obviously going to be up there. I don't know if I can't remember. And last year at this time, their car was not near as good as it was towards the end of the season. But
No, not yet.
um, I, for some reason, don't feel like they're going to qualify well here because there's a few slower turns, and that car seems to just chew up high speed turns. But I mean, George said last week, like the amount of grip they have coming out of lower speed turns is insane. I think it's just hard to get the nose in there. But yeah, McLarens will perform. Ferraris hopefully perform. I mean, at this point, we just need points. So, I mean,
Yeah.
give me a 10-8 finish and I might be happy.
Yeah. I mean, you're just competing against Williams now, the constructors, really.
Well, really Haas, because Haas uses the Ferrari engine, and right now
True.
they somehow have more points than we do. So,
Yeah. That's tough. If we're doing full scale race predictions right now, I have a feeling that this is going to be George Russell's first win.
okay, I like it.
I think George Russell is going to win, especially if there's rain involved. I just trust that he's going to keep it on the track. If crazy things happen with the McLaren in the wet again, I think they're going to qualify fine. I think their car will overdo the fact of its weak points is still stronger than everybody else's strong points, and I still think it's
Fair.
going to be the fastest car in qualifying. I don't know if it's going to be Lando or Oscar. Like when it comes to the rain, it's just fully toss up. I think maybe Lando's a
Yeah.
little bit better in the rain than Oscar, but I think
I don't know. I think that
I have
they're
no
a
idea.
dead 50-50 in the wet.
I agree. It's so hard. That's like I threw that out there just to make noise. So like I have no idea who's better in the rain,
Right.
but I think Russell's probably the best in the wet out of all the top guys. And he, as we've been saying, he's been just the silent killer this entire year so far, getting
Hmm.
podiums back to back and just chilling and just being like, yeah, this is me, third place again. So like something
Yeah.
happens where McLaren gets off the track or there's a bad pit and Russell has the right tires at the right time and he just stays out. I can just see him cruising for a podium or not a podium for a
Yep.
P1.
Yeah.
So that's my
I don't
prediction.
disagree there. I think Mercedes walks away with a lot of points either way because Kimmy's good in the wet too.
He'll get
Showed
like
that in week
fourth or
one.
fifth.
Yeah. I hope he gets his first podium. I think that'd be really cool to see. I also hope Lewis gets a podium. I mean, hope's not a strategy, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Let's go worst performers. What do you think is going to be not so good here?
I think worst performer. The first person that comes to my head is sadly Yuki, but I'm not gonna say that because I actually believe he's gonna pleasantly surprise me in that car. I think
Hope
the
so.
worst performance. I don't know. Well, the Haas was bad in the wet in Australia, but I don't know if that was something else that they
Fluke.
had in mind
Yeah.
strategy wise. I mean, I think it sadly might be just the Alpines again, just being slow. But I feel like I don't know. I really don't know. Once again, I'm imagining right now it's gonna rain, and so then all predictions are kind of out the window. Like some Fernando Alonso crashed in the rain and hasn't even finished a race yet. So it's like he
Hmm.
still could be the worst, but I just don't think that's the case. I just think somebody else is going to
No.
randomly spin out and get a crash, and then that's going to be the end of their race, and we're going to be like, "Holy crap, didn't see that coming." Do you have
Hear me
one?
out. No, my shocker performance.
Good
My
or bad?
driver of the day. Good.
Okay.
Good. We're gonna go on exceeded my expectations. I'm gonna say Doohan gets his footing.
Really?
Yep.
So out of
Don't know
anyone,
why.
huh? Out of anyone
Just
I was
rooting
going
for
to
the
say that
guy.
was maybe going to have a bad day, I was going to be doing.
Nah, man. He's gonna ball.
He
Just
kind of
watch.
he kind of feels like he's comfortable. I don't know if they've eased up on him. I know that the team principal, who most people don't even know the name of the Alpine team principal because they've got, what the frick is his name? The Italian dude.
Yeah.
We're such casuals right now for not knowing his name. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. I'm gonna look this up.
But
Do
basically,
it right.
they've got that one dude who's like always talking and pretending like he's the team principal. He's not actually the team principal. And the Alpine team principal stepped out and said they've been putting too much pressure on Duon. So I feel like maybe he balls out. Not balls out, but just stays afloat. I take it back. I'm not letting you sway me. But
I hope he balls out. I think Pierre will keep it on the track. It's just like if they can put something together, they'll be fine. And if that means it's a wet race and they get lucky and score a whole bunch of points like they always seem to at some point in the year, good for them. They did it early. Um, I'm gonna say my disappointing, my disappointment of the weekend is gonna be. I'm gonna say Charles.
I
I
think
you know
I thought you were gonna say
just
Carlos.
something's gonna happen.
Hmm.
No, I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to be disappointed about Carlos because he hasn't shown me jack donkey yet. So I don't think that. I hope he's my exceeded expectations. I hope he scores points. But right now, I
Yeah,
see him in like 12th or 13th.
I do have a feeling if there was an exceeding expectations, I'm biased, but I think maybe race 3, Carlos figures it out. I don't think he'll
Hope so.
be to the same level that Albon's at right now because Albon is really, really showing that everybody's saying he was going to crack under pressure of having a true race winner in the seat next to him. He's just absolutely gave the bird to everybody. I mean, you heard him on the radio in China. I'm fine. I can stay out. I'm better than everybody out here. Like just like I don't know what he's on right now, but he's driving. So I think Carlos could have his best performance of the year, but I don't necessarily think the rain is his best friend. So I think he's fine. I mean,
No,
I don't think
I'm
it
right there
hurts
with you.
him, but I just think that other people might
Uh-uh.
just slip into the cracks and find their positions. So I think predictions wise, as I said, I think Russell gets the win this week. Don't know why. That's my call. You said freaking Max gets the win this week. I think
Yeah.
probably if I had to bet, it's going to be a McLaren in P2. And then if
Yeah.
I had to
Same.
guess, P3, Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah. I was going to say double podium for the boys in blue over there.
So
Or the
I'm
Benz
going.
brothers. Yeah.
I'm
I like
saying
that.
I'm saying those two. I'm saying Russell. I'm saying this is all with the speculation that rain is still going to be on the forecast. It could change completely and
Mhm.
blow by, and it could. I mean, it's what is it? It's Monday right now, so
Yeah. But they
we
got a
have
few
no
days.
idea. It's almost a week out. So if the rain continues, I'm calling Russell. Let's do Oscar, Kimmy, Norris, Verstappen, and
Ooh.
then in sixth place, let's throw in Albon.
All
And
right.
then I don't know how the hell I'm gonna rank anything else out of that because the only reason I chose to put a sixth place in there was because I had to put Albon in there just because I wanted to.
Yeah. That's
But
fair.
I think
It's
it'll be
definitely
a
fair.
good mix.
We're definitely in for a good one. There's always a safety car or something at this track. I mean, going into turn one, carry a lot of speed, big winder, and then you hit that high speed like S's through that first sector. Um, it's always fun right off rip. If they get a race restart, it'll be fun all over again. And even the first few laps, people can stay tight. There's this track is not full of one thing, if that makes sense. It's not going to suit people that are just good in high speed or just good in slow speed. There's
Mhm.
long straights, high speed turns, low speed turns, etc. That I think it should keep the pack close. Hopefully, up front, it keeps it really close to give a lot of people a chance. I think it'll be a great race.
Yeah, dude, I'm very excited. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should touch on before, but I don't think so. I will say, I think we totally skimmed over Isaac Hadjar for this entire
Oh
episode because
yeah,
now that I'm thinking about it, he
yeah,
had a
we did.
very good week in China. Even though he didn't score points, he qualified P6, and he was really, really doing a great job in that car. So the question is now that if the
Hmm.
rain gets reintroduced or if it's dry, I think for him that is going to be an extremely big swing in how he performs. If it's a dry track, I could say Hajar could have an extremely good race, potentially even beating Lawson and just kind of really putting salt in the wound. But I think if it's
Yeah,
wet, there's potential he has another poor race, just not really understanding how to. I mean, he didn't even have a race in the wet with the car because he crashed on the formation lap. So
yeah.
he still doesn't know how to drive that car in the wet. So that's just a prediction right there.
It's definitely a something to prove race for him. Having a guy that got chosen to go in that seat over him, I don't know if there was ever even really conversation about him going to the Red Bull.
No, there was none.
But a kid gets chosen over you and then gets demoted back to your team. I think if he's logical like we all are, he never thought he was going to get pulled into the Red Bull. But at the same time, he goes out there and shows up Lawson. Good for him. Hope
I
he
mean,
does.
the V Carb needs a team leader. This is who's going to
Yeah,
be the V Carb team leader. Is it going to be Isaac Hadjar or is it going to be Liam Lawson?
right.
Which is kind of insane.
Man,
I'm
I haven't
pulling
thought
for.
about that. That is sick.
And who would have thought? Like Lawson probably last year before he did all of his like flicking off of beloved drivers like Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez. It's like everybody would probably be pulling for Lawson because Isaac Hadjar got a reputation for being a bit of a dickhead coming in. And now
Yeah,
everybody loves Isaac because he had the catastrophic first race. We saw the Lewis's dad hug him. Everybody's on his side now. Everybody wants to see him succeed.
yeah,
And Lawson's been acting like an absolute prick. So then everybody wants to see him
yeah,
fail. So, I mean, just to really put icing on the cake for a lot of people right now, Isaac Hadjar being team leader for VCARB after outscoring Liam Lawson in Japan would be something. And this is a
yeah.
track
That
that
would be
everybody
great.
says was kind of crazy for them to pull Lawson because of how much experience he has on it. So
Yeah,
I think the advantage is in Lawson's book. If I had to do a UFC 1 versus 1 right now, I would probably favor Lawson in that matchup.
sure.
But
Rightfully so.
champion has a name, and it could be Isaac Hadjar.
Hey, I mean, all of that to say, if you aren't watching this race this weekend, what are you doing?
Dude.
Because it is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm waking up. We'll be together this weekend. I'm waking up Sunday morning. I'm watching early.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. All right. That's it. It's a wrap. We'll
All
see you
right.
guys for the post race
Peace.
analysis. Peace.